Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome back to another session of Speak Your Mind. I'm glad to have you guys back. I'm glad that you can join us. So tonight we're going to continue from where we left off last week. Last week we had some very interesting conversation going on about what's happening in the territory. And of course, I know a lot of you guys are constantly meeting me on the street and telling me about things that I should be saying when you should be saying it yourself. So tonight we're going to open up the phone lines real early. I got a number of texts. I got about 15 texts already before we even got in here. You know, you guys want us to say what you need to say. But we want to encourage you. I want to encourage you guys to call and speak your mind and basically just tell us what's happening, what's going on, what you think we can do to help improve our economy, our tourism product, and just the overall lives of the people of the British Virgin Islands. So again, I just want to say welcome back. Immediately, as I said, the phone lines are open. I'm not going to hold anything back tonight. So we're going to leave it open. I'm just going to hit the text. The few that I do have on thing right now, like I said, I have about 15 of them. We're going to go recap on the news this week. Of course, we had some very interesting in the news. We always have interesting thing in the BVI when it relates to news and so forth. So the Speak Your Mind show is on. Call who you need to call and let them know the show is on. This is the time for them to let the folks who are the policymakers know what's going on, how they feeling about the country, the economy, tourism. Those three things I probably going to be focusing on tonight. But of course, the show is called Speak Your Mind, and we want you guys to be able to express yourself. Feel free to just tell us what's happening. So again, welcome back. So tonight, when I came in, I had a few texts. One of the texts was talking about the first one I saw that relates to the ombudsman, the complaint commissioner. Some folks are asking, do I think or do we think if there's any relevancy to the complaint commissioner? People wanted to know if he was making a difference. Some folks that are still, I guess, feel a bit challenged to make any complaints because they don't feel like they're going to get any resolution, no matter how much they complain. So that's the question out there for you guys who are watching, who are listening. What do you think? If you had any complaints, you have to complain to someone in the government ministry, someone working under a government ministry. Do you think the complaint commission is the right place to go? Of course, we have one of the big news, headline news thing in the news this week that relates to a gentleman that used to work in the Department of Communication and Work. That's hot news this week. The government is appealing that case. Apparently he won his case and the government was appealing the decision by the judge, the High Court judge. So we want to know what you think about that. That's related to the complaint commissioner. Do you believe that they're relevant? Can they do anything? If you do make a complaint on someone, does it make any sense to even complain? I don't know. I have never had to complain to the commissioner, so I don't know if it's working or not. So folks who have complained, let us know if you've gotten any resolution on any of your complaints. Next text, we have two texts, one, two, telling us thank you for sharing some light or shedding some light on the Virgin Gorda boatyard situation. Apparently there's been some kind of conversation, some movement. So for the folks over in Virgin Gorda, we want to hear from you guys. We want to know what's going on in Virgin Gorda. I made some suggestions. I believe that the parties involved could sit down. It's a business. We need those type of business in the BVI, but at the same time, we need a community protected. So I believe that both the business and the community should be able to sit down. Government should be the mediator. They should sit down and try to work something out. Obviously, if you have a health problem, something that's affecting people's lives, that's a government issue. And there's departments for that, and they should step in wherever necessary. Also, we have need for businesses in the country to continue to grow, and that's a trade issue. You know, so I believe that we should be able to sit down like grown people, smart people. We are a smart community in the British Virgin Islands. We have a lot of intelligent people here. Why not sit down if the boat yard is spraying a boat outside and open? You know, just build a shed. Build a shed, a protected shed that's going to protect you, protect your employees, protect your business, and at the same time safeguard the community. So again, those are two texts, you know, telling us, you know, thanks for sharing some light. I do hope that, you know, up there we can get some kind of resolve on that. So I would really like to see the government take the lead on this one, and also the community and the business that's involved. You know, just sit down and work it out. So Virgin Gorda, I want to hear you guys check in tonight. And also in Anegada, we want to hear you guys check in as well. In Jocelyn Dyke, we want to hear you check in. I do have one text from Jocelyn Dyke. This one is asking about when is Jocelyn Dyke going to get some attention? When is Jocelyn Dyke going to get some attention? Tell us exactly, Jocelyn Dyke. I want to hear from you guys what kind of attention you're looking for. Obviously, you know, there's some road issues, there's some infrastructure issues. I remember on the campaign, there was a lot of talk about things happening in Jocelyn Dyke. Of course, you know, it's still early in the administration term. It's going to be 1 year pretty soon. You know, and I would suspect that at some point, even during the first year, the representative would have been over there at least to get an assessment. You know, we would have had some public works department people over there, even in the business and the banking. We would have had some banks that would show some interest in setting up some banks over there, so people don't have to be jumping on a boat just to come over here to cash a check. You would think that, you know, by this time you would probably get some attention. So if you haven't got any of that, I said, Jocelyn Dyke, you got to make a lot of noise. The people in Jocelyn Dyke need to get up, you know, get up, be proactive. And that's really what it comes down to. You have to be proactive, and that simply means that, you know, the people have to start signing petition, you know, making a lot of noise. Call this show. I mean, this show, I believe, is a show of result. You know, when you call the Speak Your Mind show, we tend to put it out there, and of course, I know the policymakers are making. We hope that sometime during the course of the next 4 years, we can start getting them involved in the conversation, and not just listening to the complaints and then reacting to those, but being proactive enough to say, let's go sit down with the people, let's discuss those issues, and move forward. So, just tonight, I want to hear from you tonight. You know, this is your text. This is citizen concerns about not seeing a representative, even the opposition or the government side. Of course, you know, the opposition hand might be tied. If you're not in government, it's hard to move mountain and earth. But at least you can make some noise. So opposition, they also want to hear from you. You know, you're the representative. You should be over there sitting and meeting with those folks and just getting the noise out there. That's what the House of Representatives is all about. When you get to the Let's Go, you know, you share the views and the concern of the constituency. So you also have to make some noise. And this also goes to the next text. In Garden Bay residents complaining about not seeing their representative as well. Someone in Cape Garden Bay told me just this week, yesterday as a matter of fact, that they had an opportunity to meet with the Minister for Natural Resources and Labor, Mr. Pickering. So we're very happy that they were able to see the Minister. Let's get to the phone real quick. We got a call. Yeah, Speak Your Mind. Go ahead, please. Hello? All right, we missed that call. Just call me back, caller. I missed your call. Of course, you know, we're just trying to go over the texts. But of course, we like to hear your voice. So if you have something to say, please call us back. So again, as I was saying, I was in Cane Garden Bay just yesterday. And, you know, I guess there was a series of meetings in Cane Garden Bay about the runoff, the situation down there with the pond. You know, that's destroying the beach in Cane Garden Bay, which eventually could destroy the life, the economical life in Cane Garden Bay. We don't want any of our beaches to die. You know, we talked about the overcrowdedness in Cane Garden Bay, and there's rumor that, you know, the government is putting a lot of time and effort and emphasis into Brandywine Bay to help divert some of the folks to Brandywine Bay. I just hope that, you know, the purpose of Brandywine Bay will really fit into the tourism product. You want to speak your mind? Go ahead, please. Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm good, and thank you for calling.
I think you open up the show, but I didn't hear why we're looking to hear. I was looking to hear customs being thanked and bigger for the role they play in the season of this fuel, you know. So I come to thank them, and I would like to say tonight to the Customs Department and Controller of Customs, Mr. Wade Smith, thanks for playing an intricate role in protecting and collecting our revenues and making sure the importation and exportation of service to and from the BVI goes through the right procedures in customs. Imagine, Sam, a company that is awarded the biggest contract here in the BVI to supply gas and fuel and diesel to this territory could be engaged in such criminal activity. I am glad to see customs was right there to seize that fuel that not clear through the right main port of entry. When me, the poor man, going through the right procedure, getting tax big with 3 million bucks of food, remember when I called about that? $80 tax. A big entity like this that can afford to pay, robbing from the same system that is feeding them up and down the place, blah blahing about this and about that. And when this entity could give free fuel to taxi drivers, Sam, while the other gas station company couldn't even do the same thing. Only God knows how long fuel has been coming here and not being cleared through customs. You see? Yeah. It would never change its spot. Well, and once a thief, always a thief.
Well, like you said, I'm glad Customs had a visual eye.
I was hoping to hear you say that when you open the show.
Well I have 15 texts, and believe it or not, that's one of the texts. But you know, I like to go through them carefully so I don't make any mistakes and make sure that we put it out there clear. But I'm glad, and this is what the show is all about. You know, viewers like yourself who are also visual, who are conscious of what's happening in the community. So we appreciate that. Appreciate the call.
You know, up and down on the rostrum, telling people that you going to represent them. Better must come. In small business like me who just up and coming, you're supposed to set the right example for me to look at. Yeah. You know what I mean? Set the right example for the younger ones who coming up, you know. I hope government take back that contract and give to somebody else, man. Well, otherwise, I think we the poor people who in there going in there and honestly paying electricity should at least get 2-3 months free. Huh?
I just hope that, you know, I saw the Minister of Communication and Work was encouraging folks to start using solar heater, you know, for your water and so forth to help reduce your electricity bill. So I think there's other alternative options out there to help us save money. But there really need to be some strong investigation into the whole fuel thing, you know, whole fuel surcharge, because it's outrageous. And like I said on this show before, and I'm going to keep saying it, you know, last year we had a bid of almost $15 million difference. This year it's increased by $15 million. So if the gas costs to burn electricity in this country gone up by $15 million, that's a large percentage. Just imagine what your power bill is going to be like. And we don't even have winter. You know, in the States where they have winter and summer, you have to burn fuel or heat so much, or AC in your house so much. It shows a difference in the fuel variation. But here, I don't understand why we're paying so much. And you know, as much as I accommodate, I mean, I support the minister for coming on the air and really trying to rally the people. I think government really needs to step up and investigate these companies, all of them, that are supplying the country, and figure out why there's such a big difference. If the cost of shipping has increased so much that you have to pass the cost on to the consumer, there needs to be some serious investigation, and it all comes down to consumer protection. If you don't have any consumer protection, government or you and I will just continue, having this conversation without really getting any answers. So, Courtney, what do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, good evening, viewers out there. Yeah, I agree with the conversation so far. We have to.
I hope the perpetrator get prosecuted to the fullest. Just because if it was a small man, they would be prosecuted to the fullest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the state will be all over the thing. They do this, they do the other.
Well, we have to continue to monitor the situation and see how it goes.
Well, once again, I want to thank Customs for protecting and securing our country and looking out there and seeing all the little things were going under the table, I would like to thank them for that. And up and on the place, blah, 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 and let them blah out there now. You have a good night.
All right, good night, my dear.
Thanks for the call. So, Courtney, we had a whole lot of stuff. I had a few texts when I came in, and I was just reading some of those texts, and that was actually one of the texts, so I'm glad I called her. She beat me to the punch.
Okay.
We also had another text, prison. Prison was in the news again. It seemed like there's been some changes at the prison with the Immigration Detention Center. According to the news headline, that's now under the prison umbrella. So it's on, I guess, Mr. Hola and his crew. So that's been that's something also that's there. Also, we had we got another call.
We got a call, yeah. Okay. Good evening. You're speaking, man. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Not bad, Tell us what's on your mind.
I'm trying to find out why is it a poor person have to pay so much public in high school?
Say that one more time.
Why do people have to pay so much for book in high school? Sometimes the book takes $30, and when you go buy the bookstore in high school, it costs more than that. And then you have two children in school, and then the other child cannot use none of the books.
What subject book is it?
All the books. All the books. And another thing again, your child in the third form. Now this thing you have to buy, you have to buy a speaker for your child.
You have to buy what?
A speaker. Speaker is expensive.
A tie?
Either black speaker or white speaker.
We're hearing you, but we're not understanding you. Can you speak up just a little bit louder?
And then the piece again, you have the piece for expensive. You have to buy a piece for the last term that is from 3, and now the PE book now costs $22 just for one term. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
The PE book, she's saying.
PE book,
yeah, costs.
Physical education.
Yeah.
So you have 2 kids in high school, is what you're saying, and it's getting costly.
No, the 2 children finish high school, but now I have a daughter in high school, can't use none of those books.
Oh, well, they change the books from time to time. You can't have the children learning from old, outdated books. So they change the books from time to time, have new revisions to books. That's something that's common. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is. Actually, it's an opportunity for some young people to probably source books themselves and sell them to students. I know there were a number of people that used to do that in college when I was in college. That's an entrepreneur opportunity for somebody to get in the book business and see if they can find cheaper sources. There's always cheaper sources of anything. Yeah,
why do people have to cost $22 just for one thing?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's how it is. It even gets more expensive as you get into college. The books are expensive in the field today.
And the next thing, the lapse is $100 and something, and sometimes the kids just cook really in the school.
Yes, that's some of the cost of education. The education is an expensive thing.
Well, Carl, let me ask you, what would you suggest? I mean, obviously, like my co-host said, is the cost of education. I mean, if the kid's going to go to school, right now the school is free, right? The kid attends school for free. All you have to do is provide yourself or your kids with some of the basic necessities.
The books, the school clothes.
Yeah, so,
and
I mean,
food.
I think the biggest cost would be the actual attending the school, and government bear the cost of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to be sympathetic with the caller, but at the same time, the caller has to understand that in order to move forward, government is doing its share. You know, if it wasn't a cost, then it would just be a free handout, and you know, everything can be a free handout. So there is some cost. Courtney, you had another text. This one came in about West End. This has been you have highlighted several times in different roads throughout the BVI. We have problems with seeing the edges of the road, no center line, and so forth. And this one again is about West End, from Coxseat, from Parkwood Pond, all the way down towards Fort Recovery.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember calling my good friend Mr. Jeffrey Skelton about this same situation, and Jeffrey assured me that we're going to try to get something done about it. So Jeffrey, I'm calling on you again. The people are crying out, the tourists are crying out, and we can't wait till when one of our tourists get in an accident, get hurt on that road because they can't see. I spoke to one of the guys who helped put down the lines in the middle of the road, and he said, well, the problem is around the bluff, the corner there. Every time it rains and the rocks fall down, you have a problem because the guy's going to grade those stuff up. If that's the only problem in the area, then fine. But what happened to the rest of the road? The rest of the areas don't have a rock problem. They don't have a flooding problem. They don't have a problem that relates to stones falling down. So why not address the other part? And it's simple. All we asking for, and all the people are asking for, is reflectors on the side of the road and a middle lane, a line in the middle of the road. Put it yellow, white, green, whatever, anything that when the lights hit it, it reflects. And it also makes sense that when you have these lines in the middle of the road, if you have an accident, it helps the police to investigate who could have been at fault. Who's on the opposite side of the road. Right now, when you get in an accident, you got to spend so much time trying to measure from side to side. So, Public Works Department, Jeffrey, public safety is crying out. The people are asking in West End, from Coxseat, from Parkwood Pond, down towards Fort Recovery. We notice that you might have some challenge right on the corner, that bluff right there where, every time it rains, yes, stones fall down. We understand all of that. But that's not, if that's the only hold up, then take care of the other part where you don't have that problem. The people are asking for some kind of relief. So, Courtney, we got to take a little break real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break. When we come back, of course, like I said in the beginning, the phone lines are open. We have the texts coming in. Keep everything coming, but we want to hear your voice. The policymakers are listening. So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.